You really are the most devious bastard in New York City.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to another week. The Ray Hyclak Show is live. It's live in color right on your screen, everybody. And I do appreciate you being here. It is Sunday, so 9 p.m. means the Ray Hyclak Show is live. Fully live. They tried to stop me, but I built a lab. I built a lab here. This is my lab right here. Oh, this is my lab. I'm starting to understand the world, man. I'm not understanding the world at all. It's a clusterfuck out there, people. Best way I can describe it. And we are going to try and make sense of some of it. I want to talk about one of the biggest frauds on the internet, nephew of the Young Turk, Cenk Uyghur, Hasan Piker, Code Pink, all of those organizations. They're in Cuba. They're at a resort where people have no power around them, but they have power. We'll talk about that. That'll be the last thing I talk about tonight, if I'm being fully honest. So stick around for that. We're live. Well, I'm here every single Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for you people, because I love you. I love you. And I love Abraham Drinking. I love Abraham Drinking as well. Shout out to them for being epic. April 11th, we will be back doing comedy. I'm hosting with Church Boy Levi Davis. And we got a great lineup. Go to Abraham Drinking's Facebook page for more information on you sexy bitches, you. Oh man. Yeah, it's been a weird week. My week ended with pro wrestling on Friday. Got to help out with formerly NWA Exodus Pro Wrestling, now just Exodus Pro Wrestling, EC3's organization here in Cleveland. Had a show at Collision Bend Brewing Company over here in Euclid. Done shows there a couple times too. So they're gonna be doing like a 3-show residency, if you will. And then a possible future venue will be announced. But for right now, it's Collision Bend in Euclid, and it was a cool night. Really cool. Like, the setup was, wrestling can have weird setups. And this one definitely went with one as well, which was just a brick wall, but behind the ring, and then 3 sides, and it was wonky, but they had like the things around the beer, which was cool. The beer barrels that they have at the breweries and stuff like that, where you can get your micro brew. Or whatever. But yeah, Exodus Pro Wrestling was a lot of fun. Did the merch booth again. Got to hang out. Met Angelina Love, which was awesome. That was a fun time. Didn't really get to talk to her much because they showed up late, like right before doors opened. So we weren't able, or I wasn't able to really spend any time or ask Angelina. I want her on the podcast. I want Angelina Love on this fucking podcast, if I'm being dead honest. I think that would be a great get. Probably won't get it for a very long time. But that's how you live, my friends. You live one podcast at a time, guests and not. I do an hour for you people. And then I go fuck off. I'm probably going to play video games tonight, so if you're a member of or a subscriber to Scally Bandit, that's my YouTube gaming channel, go subscribe to that. I do infrequent live streams off of my gaming console, my PlayStation 5, my beautiful, beautiful game system. Right now, it's just all about Skate. Skate's a weird game because, like, it's had a weird development cycle because, like, nobody gave it a shot right off the bat. People, like, the drop in player count on Skate has been abysmal. But the guys like me who stick around, we're having a fucking blast with this game right now. An absolute blast because you can do such weird shit in this game that you can, like, wall ride into a fucking pipe and shit. And you're just like, where did I go? And then you pop out into the water because you went down a tube. It's great. It's a great game. You can pull off huge air. You can do huge combinations that last minutes. I mean, I've done minutes long of these things to where I get a good 30-second clip and able to throw it up on YouTube. It's quite nice. But at Scally Bandit, go check me out over there as well. That's my gaming channel. Yeah, let's kind of do some easy shit right off the bat. UFC London was this past weekend, and I only saw 2 of the fights. I saw the main event with Lerone Murphy. Let me bring that actually up here. MMAholes.tv. Shout out to the MMA holes. I should actually, you know what? I'm gonna say I'm lonely in that group. I'm gonna say I'm lonely, guys. Give me a sec, because I am. I'm very, 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 very lonely. Very lonely. This is one of the loneliest shows in the world, and I hope you enjoy. Share the show out if you like it. We do a lot on this channel, and it's I do UFC commentary, boxing commentary. Sadly, on April 11th, I will not be doing the Zuffa boxing because I will be at a show. And if I can get off early enough, show goes off without really a hitch, nobody goes over time, I may come in for the main event. May come in for the main card at like 10 o'clock and do main card madness, which I'm thinking about rebranding as well, if I'm being deathly honest. I think a rebranding of main card madness is in the works for me. Come harass me. All right. That was fun. But, yeah, Skate the video game, I love it. I didn't think I would enjoy it. I grew up a Tony Hawk Pro Skater guy. That was sort of like I like the arcadey skateboard. But, like, this skate game now just allows you to do just moon graphics shit, which is great, or moon physics shit that I never thought would be anything. And then all of a sudden a camera angle might fucking pop in where the camera angle changes, where it's on like a top of you or it switches with you. It's cool. Like, they added so much stuff, and I'm hoping the rest of season 3 is actually fun until your daddy takes the T-Bird away. Because I want it to be. I want graphics to get better. I want the creation. I want to customize my own parks, guys. I want to build my own skate parks that are just based off of absolutely absurd amounts of speed, landing into a mega ramp that's like going to launch me halfway across the map. That's what I want. Hi, Stinky. Good to see you, buddy. Stinky N5963. Hi, buddy. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. This is what I do every week. Sometimes it's MMA only talk. Sometimes it's what we're going to be talking about today. So buckle in. But I love that game. Skate is fucking awesome. Skate's great. I think everybody should play it once for at least a couple hours, and to just get an idea of what it is. The behind the paywall thing. Did you really think we were gonna not have a fucking paywall in 2026, dog? Did you not think? But let's bring up the card from the weekend here. I'm gonna have to resize this. Resize this dick. All right. This is why I need a producer, guys. Because I fail at this. This is... All right. Bam, bam, bam. Sure. All right. Bam. Cool. It's next week, which I will be doing a live for this. I will be doing a live on the 28th for this card because Adesanya versus Piper is going to fucking slap. That's going to slap, dude. Evilov and Lerone Murphy. I saw the co-main event or the co-main event. I mean, Masvidal touched Lerone Murphy up hard. Showed why he's the number one contender in the featherweight division right now. I mean, Masvidal fucked Lerone Murphy up. Lerone Murphy coming off of, a couple impressive wins, but Masvidal just said, here's my butthole, eat it. Like he said, he dominated Lerone Murphy. Like Lerone Murphy looked frustrated in the later rounds, really fucking frustrated. And for Masvidal to do what he did was quite foxy, quite fucking foxy, dog. It was pretty fun to watch that one. And then another featherweight, Luke Riley versus Michael Aswell, and Luke Riley, a tough little fuck, man. I mean, this British kid is fucking pretty good. He was able to kind of keep himself in composure. Aswell was throwing some hands with him. I mean, they were exchanging in the later rounds. They were really fucking exchanging, and it was quite awesome. It was quite awesome to watch that fight. I literally got in, I think, like right as the end of the first round. I think there was like 2 minutes left in the first round, and they were teeing off on each other when I opened up the Paramount Plus app. Like, I was so enthralled at watching that fight, man. It was cool. It was a very good fight. Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. Good time. Great country favorites, people. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna go over here. I don't know. I got nothing today, really. I mean, we're going to talk about Cuba in a sec. Because I've got X stuff. I've got stuff from X. I've got a CNN article. I've got an Al Jazeera article. Like, fuck. That's what I didn't do. That's right. I had to do that. People have been waiting on the rumbles. No, they haven't, Ray. You're lying to yourself. Rumble refused to connect, huh? Oh, boy. Okay. Well, I don't think it's on Rumble today, kids. That's fine. We just don't need it. Actually, I need to studio.rumble. Oh, there it is. There we go. Come on. All right, we'll just let that play. Nobody watches this part anyway. This is all the crap that I'd need a fucking guy for, if I'm being honest. Like, it's pretty bleak on this side of the street here, kids. Yeah, I need a producer, dog. Let me actually listen to my audio real quick too. All right. Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds good. Whew. What a fucking week. Forgot. I forgot to put him on the thing. I'm an asshole. I am a douche. I need to actually, real quick, before we bring up the news block on this, I need to fix the news block. Oh my God. I totally forgot, man. R.I.P. That is not periods there. R.I.P. Chuck fucking Norris. How the hell did I forget that? How the hell? But anyway, what we'll do is let's play the video for Cavalcade of Stories and watch some news stories. Why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Tonight we bring you 3 rings of spectacular entertainment.
It is that time for the news segment that I like to call the Cavalcade of Stories. It's a bunch of news stories that I think are important, that you should too. And that's how we start the show right there, guys. That's how we go. But yeah, let's bring it into this because this is better for it. I don't have anything to really discuss it. But yeah, fucking Chuck Norris died after being hospitalized. He was, I think, in his 80s. Chuck Norris. There we are. Chuck Norris. Obviously, if you are a person of a certain age, yeah, he was 86, born 1940. If you're a child of a child of the 90s, and you watched professional wrestling on USA Network, you were inundated, and I mean inundated, with Walker Texas Ranger commercials. You knew the storyline based just on the commercial of Walker Texas Ranger, of how it was actually going to be the episode. Sometimes, too cool, you'd have a WWE superstar show up. I think Steve Austin, Roddy Piper, a few guys had been on Chuck Norris's Walker Texas Ranger for just little promotional spots. That way also you would have like, this week on Walker Texas Ranger, Stone Cold Steve Austin makes an appearance. I like you, Walker Texas Ranger. Yeah, the shit like that. And then all of a sudden it would be like, and then this Sunday, join the WWE for No Mercy. Like that was always kind of the symbiotic relationship. Gave a sidekick to Jeff Jarrett in a match with The Undertaker and Yokozuna. I think that was at Survivor Series. That was the one where The Undertaker died and went up to heaven. That one, yeah, you can actually watch that. It's a real fucking thing that happened. They put The Undertaker on fucking hoists and lifted him up into the stratosphere as a soul going to heaven. As he uttered the words, "I will never rest in peace." But Chuck Norris was the special enforcer for that match. And I think the match is actually on the WWE channel right now on YouTube. So if you want to go relive that and watch Jeff Jarrett oversell jumping sidekick, I'd recommend it. If I'm being honest, I'd recommend it. Why not? It's a good fucking match. Also, storied career, combat karate champion. He was in Bruce Lee movies. Stunt guy for years and years and years. The home gym. How can you not remember the home gym? Like that was when I think that was like when all millennials kind of realized Chuck Norris was old when he was doing like, body weight stuff. And I mean, again, he was 84 or 86. 86? Yeah, I think 86. Yeah, Chuck Norris, that was wild. A joke I saw a bunch of people, do the Chuck Norris jokes, and I wasn't immune to this myself. My Chuck Norris joke was, if I can remember it correctly, Chuck Norris's last act of charity was letting death win. I'm not repeating it again. I wanted to say it on my podcast and get it out of my fucking head. But Chuck Norris fucking passing. That was wild. The dude from Buffy died. One of the main guys, I forget his name. What was the Buffy guy? Buffy guy that died. All right. Nicholas Brendon died. I think he was 54. Yeah, he's 54. This is according to the Independent. Let me read the story here for you. I'll even bring the Cavalcade up here for it. Screen share, yo-ho. All right. Yeah, man. Wait, gotta fix that. Can't have that going like that, man. All right, Vampire Slayer guy. Buffy the Vampire Slayer actor Nicholas Brendon dies at 54. I don't. Just let me skip this. Let's just pause it. Let's make a nice compromise, Independent. How about that? Nicholas Brendon, known for his role on the hit TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, has died at the age of 54. The family announced his death in a Facebook post Friday night, writing, "He passed in his sleep of natural causes. Our family asks for privacy during this time as we grieve his loss and celebrate the life of a man who lived with intensity, imagination, and heart." His family wrote. I was not a big fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Had a lot of friends into Buffy. Was not. I could have cared. I was all in on pro wrestling. What are we doing here? Let me close this. Gosh darn it. There we go. I wasn't really a big fan. I knew who this dude was when I saw him because he'd be on in the morning. You'd either have Nick at Night still playing. I was like the morning stuff was like Head of the Class, Perfect Strangers, and then a rotating cast of a bunch of other 80s shows. But Buffy was on the CW along with Charmed and shit. You know what I'm saying? That kind of fucking thing. In a since deleted post shared on Brandon's Instagram account in 2022, it was revealed that he had been hospitalized because of something, an abdominal heart rhythm, with a resting heart rate of more than 100 beats per minute. I mean, it's probably mine. I'm not going to lie. Depending on the day. But as a normal heart rate would be anywhere from 60 to 100 beats per minute. This, I guess, goes more than that and kind of fucks him up. Tachycardia, something like that. The post reported on by several outlets at the time mentioned that Brendon had a similar incident after his second spinal surgery last year. So the doctors may have fucked up, if you really think about it. For quada equina syndrome. What is this? What is this quada equina syndrome? I gotta look this up, Doug. Let's see what it is. Spinal cord. I need an AI, dude. I just need the AI. I'm not even on Google. That's right. Fucking. Dang it. Fuck. Let's go to Google on that. Because I'm not like Sneeko. I'm not gonna claim to know everything. But yeah, Acquire syndrome. All right. Let's bring this in. See what this says. This is all me, people. I do this by myself. So if anybody wants to be my producer, your camera suffering from low frame rate. It's probably because I have so many fucking tabs open, dog. Yeah, I'll cut that, and then yeah, we'll cut that. But let's see what this is. Quada equina syndrome, CES, a medical emergency caused by severe compression of the nerve root at the base of the spine. It requires urgent surgical decompression, ideally within 24 hours, to prevent permanent paralysis, bladder, bowel incontinence, and that lovely ED. Common causes include severe lumbar disc herniation, tumors, infections, or fractures. That is according to one of the sources, the Cleveland Clinic. Saddle anemia, numbness, or anesthesia. Oh boy, numbness, dysfunction of the bladder, sciatica problems, and then just lower back pain in general. Causes: herniated disc, spinal stenosis, trauma. Yeah. Well, let's fucking Buffy guy who died again. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, Nicholas. There we are. History of heart issues, cardiac attacks. Right there. Yeah, that's wild, man. Recent spinal surgery. What caused the injury, though, is my question. Like that's what I'm trying to figure out, man. I'm absolutely wanting to figure that out. We'll definitely keep on this story as it comes in. But yeah, died of horrible things. Did Nicholas Brendon, and yeah, he was part of the Scooby Gang. He voiced the Scooby Gang. It's a shame, but I always knew him from Buffy. I didn't know him from anything else. So sad, his family, thoughts and prayers. But I wasn't a big Buffy fan. I wasn't a big Sarah Michelle Gellar fan either. I was more of a Melissa Joan Hart guy. So I was all about Clarissa explaining it all to me. I wanted that, man. And then later, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I was all about Melissa Joan Hart. If I had the chance for a blonde that wasn't Britney Spears at the time, I absolutely would have gone Melissa Joan Hart. For sure. Loved her. Whew. All right. Zip. Shout out Kevin Downey Jr. But, okay. Next story I want to talk about is the first one that's actually going along the scroll here. I don't need to bring up any videos. I don't really need to bring up much about it, but I feel like it needs to be talked about, and just because you can't let a legend like this go away into the history books without really acknowledging, one, his contribution on tag team wrestling in the United States and abroad. Two, he helped not only some of the regional territory promotions get really huge for a short period of time, but he also had one of the greatest runs in Louisiana wrestling history, and territorial wrestling in general. And I'm obviously talking about the passing of Loverboy Dennis Condrey from the Midnight Express. If you grew up with a wrestling family, like a family that loved professional wrestling like mine did, my dad was a huge fan. He had VHS tapes when I was a little kid that were not only legendary at the time, like legendary shows in professional wrestling. And I wish I still had them, but when you're kids, you don't really appreciate a lot. And I really didn't appreciate, my brother and I both, we really didn't appreciate the VHSs that we had. We had Starrcade 86, which was my first ever wrestling VHS. Then it was Starrcade 88 was the other one. That was straight rip, like live tape or live to tape VHS my dad had. He had the 87 Great American Bash Tour, the 87 Great American Bash Tour, which I don't know if anybody can really give me a better compilation of professional wrestling than the 1987 Great American Bash on Tour tape, which the Midnight Express were on. And he was probably one of the scariest dudes I've ever seen in my life. I'm gonna go to cage match. There you are. Yeah, there we go for the database. Dennis Condrey was one of, if not the greatest territory wrestlers of all time. There's been countless things done on him. Obviously, Jim Cornette has done several questions about Dennis Condrey in the past. So if you really want an in-depth thing, you might just go over to Jim Cornette, official Jim Cornette, for those videos, because really my only things that I have are the scaffold match was my first match that I truly remember. Where you could tell me, early 90s WWE or WWF at the time, pay-per-view cards, matches, all that shit. I couldn't tell you that, but I could tell you the last two matches of Starrcade 86, the Night of the Skywalkers, was Ric Flair and Nikita Koloff for the world title. But your real main event, the event was named after, was the Night of the Skywalkers 20-foot scaffolding, the Omni in Atlanta, a famous arena. And I remember as a kid, when you're 5 or 6 and you run across this as a wrestling fan, after only really looking at WWF and having WWF action figures, maybe you had a few WCW ones like I did. I had very rare. I actually have this one next to me. Yeah, this is one of them. I still have these. Somewhere in my house, there is an Iron Sheik one of these, by the way. It's here and it's autographed. And he tried to steal it from me. But I am a dyed-in-the-wool professional wrestling fan because of guys like Dennis Condrey. And I just remember that first Starrcade DVD or VHS, career highlights. Let's go to Barry Windham, Yeah, match. No. Career. JCW. That's hilarious, by the way. Where's the 87 Jim Crockett Promotions? Brad Armstrong, Road Warriors defeat the Midnight Express. Where's the November 86? Because it was on Thanksgiving night. I remember that was like the big fucking get with that. The 86. Yeah, 86 is what I want. All right. What? What? How, man? Like, I'm 86. There we are. That's perfect. All right. 86. Road Warriors defeat the Midnight Express, Fresno, Bunkhouse, Englewood, California. I'm still okay. I'm trying to find it here. Brad Armstrong. There we go. This is the match right here that got me into professional wrestling. Let me zoom in on it here. Yeah, right about there where above my head where it says scaffold. That's my first ever professional wrestling memory. Bar none. Because it was so wild to me that these guys were going to go against the Road Warriors, who my dad was a fan of. His fandom of LOD, blended in with me, and he imprinted that love of Hawk and Animal on me. Oh, what a rush. The whole nine, right? But like the scaffold match itself, and I need to bring this up here, just like the ending of the scaffold match is insane. And I'm not going to show like the cornet portion, but Midnight Express fall off scaffold. There we are. Jim Cornette falls off of the scaffold. Here. Like this is, I'm probably going to get a DCMA, but I give a fuck less about that, man. At this point, this is my childhood. This is everything about this is just beautiful. No pun intended. It's beautiful like Bobby, and it's sweet like Stan. You want to? Like this whole. I'm gonna size this up here. This is why I need a producer. There we go. At times. But here's where they get knocked off. I believe we see it here. Oh, or they don't show. But no, yeah, they just beat the shit out of each other in Atlanta, Georgia for thousands of dollars. And, it was a great time. That was my first ever pro wrestling memory that I can truly pinpoint. Where did I start loving the sport of professional wrestling? And it was that match. Without a doubt, dog. That match was insane and like corny, getting thrown from the scaffold onto or falling off the scaffolding the way he did, where it blew both of his fucking knees out. And let's see if that does. Oh, that does not work for me, dog. I do not like that. Let's see what 175 looks like. Nope, still not enough. Ew. All right, let's see what that does. That's okay. It's okay. Obviously, after around this time, they were wrestling the Road Warriors, and then they really didn't have anything going on. They did just kind of matches around because it was Bunkhouse season. Leaves and then goes to the AWA in 1987, and doesn't really give a reason or anything like that. He just fucking deuces out to Minneapolis, where he does the Midnight Express with Randy Rhodes, who I think was the other guy. Randy Rhodes, Norvell Austin, and Dennis Condrey were the original Midnight Express. They had a feud with Beautiful Bobby and Sweet Stan in WCW and Jim Crockett Promotions. Obviously, you can see in '86, he goes from Jim Crockett to the UWF. Herb Abrams and his cocaine ass. My favorite line, by the way, from any fucking wrestling documentary is Brian B. Blair going, Herb Abrams died doing what he loved. Hookers and cocaine. It's the greatest joke ever because if you know Herb Abrams, it's a very true statement. And it was awesome for that. And then, like I said, he came back, did NWA, WCW against Jim Cornette and beautiful Bobby Eaton and Sweet Stan Lane, who I got to meet all four of them in Madison, West Virginia. But we'll talk about that in a sec. Legendary career for him. And I'm really sad that, his family, or sad for his family, sad for the friends of Dennis Condrey, especially, survived cancer. I think from like 2016 to about 2018, he was doing cancer treatments on his throat. He had a little voice box presser thing, that would release air and everything. Got to meet him, like I said, in Madison, West Virginia at, shout out to my boy, Gary Damron, for putting himself in his own Hall of Fame. Love it, baby. You're a fucking great promoter. Love you, my friend. Book me. But, they were there, the Midnight was there with Corny to, get inducted into the All-Star Wrestling Hall of Fame. I got to meet them all. I got to, congratulate him on his recovery at the time. And it was like, I think little 2021, 22, I think is when Beautiful Bobby died, which still is one of those that hurts to this day. To quote Deontay Wilder, to this day. But, he was part of that guy, like being a part of a memory like that for me that is so vivid, where I remember sitting in my room as a little kid, putting that VHS in after asking my dad if I could watch it, and just watching all those matches and all those great fucking wrestling shows. I want to keep a guy like Dennis Condrey alive. We don't really have that many legends that we can really look at from a living perspective and ask, what do we do here? I mean, Terry Funk's gone. Dennis Stamp's gone. I think Dory's still alive, which is wild to me, but he's in his 90s. He still, I think, wrestled in Japan for a thing. And, there's these guys out there that, were the linchpin from the previous generation when it was still kind of carny and still kind of, shisty all the time and nothing really was going on. But Dennis, and I love also the Dennis story of he just up and went to Denver, like just up and went to Colorado to get away from his ex-wife. And I guess had a kid, like a family, wife over there too or something. I don't know. But he moved to Denver and then came back for the Midnight versus Midnight thing, which didn't really go that well because it's a huge story on it. You can go watch Jim Cornette talk about it. But yeah, man, it sucks. It really does. It sucks that he's gone, and I didn't think it was going to take this much time, by the way, to talk about this because I wanted to talk about the Cuba situation. So we'll end the show on that. You guys, if you're not into it, I dig. It's not going to be an easy one to get through, but it's something I want to talk about because I see a lot of hypocrisy in the country, or by people who aren't in the country that are there now. So anyway, R.I.P. to a legend, Loverboy Dennis Condrey. And then I'll end on wrestling because I do see it. I have it on the thing. This is just more of a statement than anything else. If you don't like this statement, fuck you. How about that? And that is, if you don't like Danhausen, you think he's stupid, you think there's like something wrong with his gimmick, I got to tell you, WWE has not dropped the ball yet on this thing. They have actually, they should just use him as sort of like the Franklin Richards of the WWE, where he curses people to get belts off of them. He curses people who, you know, are doing really good and winning, like El Grande Americano, and now the other El Grande is huge in Mexico. Like it massive. But if you don't like Danhausen, you don't like wrestling. You don't like to have fun. Stevie Richards said that best. Stevie Richards said, you know, he's fun. He's fun. He shuts my brain off. And he does goofy things like that. You are cursed. It's great. It's amazing. And, you know, hats off to CM Punk for bringing him in, because he's showing why he's over. And yes, there will have to be a match at some point. You just can't have Danhausen being goofy all the time without him wrestling. It's wrestling. It's not talking with this. Even though it's a gimmick character, you could have Danhausen do all kinds of little goofy shit and still be involved in the ring. Do tag team matches, triple threats, some singles. You don't want to have him all the time, but he's going to be a long-term, you know, actually good comedy gimmick, which is great. Fucking love Danhausen. It's the best. I'm a fanhausen of Danhausen. That's what I am, bitches. All right, let's get to the dark side of tonight's episode. We're going to end on this. If you haven't been really paying attention over the past like week or so now, Cuba is not only in the sights and the sounds of the Trump administration, but they're definitely a failing state. If you're asking exiles for money now, you don't have much. And you can say, oh, the Americans and their embargoes and all this stuff. They made the choices that they did, getting the allowing the Soviet Union to put missiles painted and to made look like palm trees in the 60s. And then the Mariel boat lift, which happened in the 80s, which is what Scarface is based off of. It's kind of scary. I'm not going to lie, to hear it in real life, because I'm a late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s kid. And so like the only time you would ever hear like the Libertad from anybody of Cuban descent in America was Manny from a thing. And I don't even think he was Cuban. But hearing people chanting Libertad is kind of frightening. But I guess the country is asking expats to invest in the country. Like exiles that were, relatives of people who got thrown away in the boat lift during the Carter administration. They're trying to ask legacies for cash, and I don't think these people are gonna get what they want from their quote unquote countrymen, who aren't really countrymen anymore. They've made their money. I mean, they did the full on capitalist society notion and made money. Now they're asking those more successful people for money. Sounds like sounds like communism at work. It's since 1959, when Fidel Castro seized power, Cubans on the island have endured navigating a system defined by scarcity, surveillance, or surveillance and state control. It's actually a lie. They've kind of been in a civil war since they signed their independence in the 1900s. There's been a bunch of coups. There's been a bunch of upheaval in Cuba since their independence, if you really do the research on it. But Castro was sort of the first true true blue revolutionary of the modern era. I mean, he came to power in the 50s or late 50s, early 60s. So he's Castro. I mean, I gotta fucking zoom this shit in. I can't see shit. Oh, not even close. 150 is what we need. All right. But yeah, since 1959, when Castro seized power, blah, 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 blah. Today, that system is under strain, not seen perhaps since the fall of the Soviet Union in 1990, when the island lost its primary economic lifeline. Once the Soviet money went away, and I know people are going to be like, but Michael Moore showed in Sicko how well you could get thing. Yeah, they're going to have a great medical system already in place in a communist country. But the system then has to be put under strain. And they have absolutely been strained. I saw something, can't really confirm it on X, but seeing things of people dying in hospitals right now because there's a power outage. 11 million people are without fucking power. And I got some videos that are going to piss you off in a sec, so stick around for that. Earlier this week, Oscar Perez Olivia Fraga, Cuba's deputy prime minister and minister of foreign trade and investment, who is also the great nephew of, you guessed it, where is it? Oh my God, he is a Castro. Said in a televised appearance that Cuban exiles are welcome to invest in the island, as in they're trying to get the money from the people who left the island, who aren't going to give you that cash. Like, they're not going to give you that fucking money. If you, like, this is how desperate some of these, like, nations are. I mean, look at Iran, same thing. Their money is overvalued to the point of super mega inflation. Cuba, I mean, what we're seeing right now with 11 million people is insane. It is not new. It is not a new message from Havana, or it is not a new message. Havana has extended similar invitations to the diaspora for years, but those overtures have yielded few real-world results because they don't want to give the money to the regime that persecuted them. I would understand that same thing if somebody from the USSR looked at Russia and went, you think I'm ever giving you a fucking red dime of any currency I have in my pocket? No. Go suck a dick, Putin. You know, they're these leaders who fuck people over, who really persecute people in this or in this world, usually it happens to where that regime will topple somewhere down the line. It takes generations for this really to happen. And we're finally seeing the fact that Castro's gone. He knew how to run this revolution. He knew how to run the state because he set it up. Now you're starting to see the guys who were like under him by like 4 years waiting to get their chance, and they're fucking it up. So, and again, and U.S. is not above this. So if you're gonna comment underneath, I know. Sorry, I know you want to think I'm an idiot, but you know what? America isn't that well right now either. I'm not saying it's not great, but at least you know we weren't being put into prisons and put in front of pew-pew squads for being dissidents ever in our lives, outside of terrorism maybe, but those guys usually get shuffled off or, you know, reconstituted by the CIA. So, yeah, the capture of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, by the U.S. effectively severed Cuba's most critical oil pipeline, which I need to say, I'm going to find that real quick here. The Explorer. Greta. Greta. Cuba. I just also want to kind of throw this in here if I can find it. I love the hypocrisy of political figures. I'm not a political figure. I am but a simple comedian who spouts off online because I was able to afford a $120 microphone. All right? Nothing special. No ego here. Just a lot of mental illness. All right? With people like, say Greta Thunberg, who I'm about to show is just one of the worst human beings alive. Let me actually see this real quick. Let me go over here. Yeah, that's fine. I love how she's finally gone from, the how dare you girl to exactly what I
need to talk about what's happening.
Shut up. Yeah, shush. Let me speak before I let you speak here, kid. And you are a kid. You're above 21, but I'm, older than you. So sit down. But this girl was absolutely against fossil fuel. Like, fervently saying to people, how dare you? And now, because a communist country is being deprived of oil because of their horrible, horrible government's policies, instead of rising up, they got women like this talking
Cuba
shit.
Right now, as the Trump administration is waging illegitimate wars across the world, killing countless of people, it is also strangling the Cuban people, deliberately, methodically, and openly. The pedophile...
Okay, there's defamation right there. That's good to know. Good defamation. Let's just move a little bit. There's an embargo. Yep. Yep. Yeah.
There's no oil, there's no money, there's no anything. He said it like it was something to be proud of. While millions of people have been plunged into darkness by rolling blackouts, while hospitals
by a
lose power,
shitty government,
while ambulances run out
by
of
a
fuel,
shitty government,
shelves go empty.
by a shitty
the
government.
United Nations has warned of imminent humanitarian crisis.
Okay.
Intensive care units and emergency rooms are compromised.
And they will be taken care of.
The elderly, the sick, all paying the price. This is not an accident or an unfortunate side effect of some policy disagreement. This is the intended outcome. Since 1962, the U.S. embargo has been designed, in the words of the U.S. State Department itself, to bring about hunger,
the Cuban Missile Crisis, dog. The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Now the Trump administration is escalating it further, plotting what they themselves have called a takeover of the island. The world needed it.
I love it.
With medical workers, Cuba sent its doctors to all corners of the earth. Cuban medical workers fought emissions of dependents stood in solidarity rule across Africa, not just in the world, and now the newest land. And I'm asking all of you, every friend of peace, wherever you are in the world, go to your local U.S. network. When people matter of
I did like this though,
it is
right
matter
here.
When people deliberately, methodically go. There is no oil.
No oil. She's for oil now, apparently. I like that, but. I mean, this girl was on a catamaran when she was, 13 years old? My parents couldn't afford that shit. Like, whose parents do that but wealthy artists? That's all it really is. Anyway, it doesn't end there. We got some other stuff. I got Hasan Piker lying. This is sad. Like there's like hospitals that don't have power. But here's my favorite part. This fucking asshole.
The Cuban economy as
to quote the great Penn Jillette. And then there's this asshole. This guy, first of all, actually, I need to bring this down because that's not even the best part. I want you to see something, okay? I want you guys to look at this. Look at this video. This is nuts. Okay, so this is what Hasan called a U.S. 5-star hotel. Okay? It's one of the only hotels in Havana right now that has power. Okay? It's one of the only places in the city that has power. And who stays there? people in Project Pink, the people in with Hasan Piker and other left-wing YouTube and Twitch creators. And you see this shit. You see this fucking look at the just watch the like interior compared to the exterior in this video. This is in Havana, Cuba right now. There are lights on in this hotel. This is where a lot of the idiots are staying. And shout out to Pablo Iglesias. But like for 48 hours now, or since this was published, this was yesterday. So it's been about 72 hours since they actually had any kind of thing. Look at the security guy out here. No security anywhere else in this city. Who knows what the cops are like in Cuba? I don't know. I do not know, nor do I ever want to find out about them. But they're walking around in a 5-star hotel supposedly with generators running power. You see some power over that way. You see some lights over that way. Not that much. To the left, you see some thing. Then you got car lights. And those, Lord knows what year cars those are. Because I don't think the Cuban automotive companies have really done anything. But look, he's just walking into darkness while people are sitting outside. And you got a guy with a light trying to thing, but then no lights. This guy walks into his own house. And people have flashlights on their heads. And those fucking assholes are sitting in a hotel like that. And then we got this fucking douche talking.
I totally understand why Will was saying that about Cuba. It's remarkable. The people's resilience is remarkable. There's like rolling blackouts that take place throughout the day, every day, all around the country, right?
Yeah.
11 million people. But today is a beautiful day out here. It's like,
the fact that he talks about the weather and not the fact that it's like, yeah, there's rolling blackouts everywhere, but I mean, it's a beautiful day outside. These people have been starving basically themselves for generations, and you're just ignoring the fact that they don't have power while you're sitting in a what the government calls a 5-star hotel in Cuba, which probably is like a Days Inn pretty much. So you're sitting there while other people are out there suffering. You privileged little douche.
people are partying.
People are partying. They're drinking because they're miserable, dude. They're not fucking drinking to have a good time. Like, Hasan Piker is just the worst, man. Let's finish this out.
Party in the fucking streets. I don't know if it's like an island mindset. I don't know if that has something to do with it. I'm sure that has something to do with it, but like they're just chilling. Like,
no, well, they don't have jobs. They don't have money, Hasan. They don't have a multi-million-dollar podcast that's probably funded by Cenk anyway. And you're gonna sit here and just be like, "Oh, nothing's wrong, bro."
Fantastic.
This one too, where he talks literally about it, and it makes you sick. Let's just watch
this.
This.
Having any bandwidth whatsoever, I have no idea what's going on. Like,
do you not leave the property? Are you not allowed to leave the property, Hasan? Is that what you're trying to say? Oh, I don't have bandwidth. I don't know what's going on. Are you serious?
Last night we ended the podcast, and I went and linked up with the Progressive International boys, Jeremy Corbyn.
Just partying it up while people are suffering.
And I hung out with the Kneecap.
These douchebags are like this. And I'm not saying all Democrats and all fucking leftists are like this, but this guy is an absolute fraud. Absolute fraud.
We've just been living La Vida Loca, honestly.
Like, did you hear that? Just listen to this.
Local establishment, and we have been.
That local establishment is probably 2 inches from his hotel. with high security.
We've just
just look at this trash, man. Like, you cannot tell me Cuba isn't a good place and hasn't been since the communists took over. I mean, Castro, the Muriel boat lift to Miami, we all know it from Cocaine Cowboys. If you don't, go watch Cocaine Cowboys. If you're a young boy, go watch that movie. It's awesome, but it's also a cautionary tale. So go with that. But let's continue with this fucking knob job.
Living La Vida Loca.
He literally just said that. That they were living La Vida Loca. What? What? Are you fucking kidding me, you privileged bitch?
Honestly, we've just been living life, living large.
'Cause you can. They can't. You're in a hotel on probably the 80th floor or whatever the highest floor is, so you don't have to look at the riffraff. His internet's been garbage on Twitch the last couple nights, so I hope he doesn't have internet anymore and the fucking generators run out. Then you'll watch these people leave. Once the generators go and there's no way to actually get any kind of power to their 5-star hotel, they're gonna leave. They're gonna leave. And what did they do for the Cuban people? Dick. Like most American politicians who claim to love the Cuban people. Dick. Nothing. Continue.
And, just peppering people with just wads of cash for the most part.
That is insane. That he is just like, yeah, we're just throwing around money. Throwing around money. Must be nice, I want to call you Chank Uyghur so bad. But it must be nice, Hasan. It must be amazing to have a very successful uncle who can fund your Twitch stream and feed you all the bullshit nonsense that you have in your head. But anyway.
With hopes that, there's like a little bit of economic respite for.
That's the rich liberal kids thing. Let's just throw money at it. Why not? It's policy change. It's regime change. It's a failed state. It needs to be completely rehauled. And it should be rehauled by the Cuban people. I admit, I'm going to say that right now. I would rather have the Cuban people than the United States government taking over the country in any way, shape, or form. If it has to be done in the short term, fine. But I think the Cuban people have been under communism for so long that they're just like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not even. I haven't had power for 72 hours. I guarantee you, if power does not continue or does not come back within the next 4 days, you're gonna see a different side of Cuba that's gonna make that riot scene from Scarface look like a goddamn Disney movie. I got one more. Oh, where are you, buddy? There we are. Here we are.
The Cuban economy as it stands currently. The government has very limited resources.
Yeah.
And the American government makes it illegal for Americans to stay wherever they want when they're in Cuba.
I love this. This is such a first world. Oh, I can't stay where I want.
They have to stay in what they've declared as 5-star hotels.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm telling you all this because, even the 5-star hotels are not they're.
This is one of the most spoiled human beings I've ever looked at in my life.
But regardless,
absolutely spoiled. He's just a brat
on the island. It's prosperity pretty much.
What?
And experiencing that dichotomy has definitely fucked me up.
I hope he comes back with a different fucking mindset. I really do. I want him to come back with not a capitalistic mindset, but I want him to fucking, be able to realize the error of his ways. If not, whatever, brother. It's your choice. And it was your choice tonight to watch my show. And if you liked it, you are one of my people. I appreciate it. You're awesome. You make this worth the entire trip around the sun with this show. And it's definitely an honor to be able to do this and just have people watch in general. I've had some, high numbers for a small content creator recently, and can't thank you guys enough for that. But with that hatred of Hasan Piker, I am going to go to bed. Actually, I'm going to go to sleep. I'm fucking tired. All right. I need to go to bed. R.I.P. to Dennis Condrey. R.I.P. to Chuck Norris. Keep your head above water. Everybody, remember, it's not that bad. You don't have anything. And also, I just got to tell you, you may think there's differences between all of us, but there's one similarity between us all, and that is the age-old saying, everybody gets bugs. Thank you, guys. You have a great night, and as always, see you later.